This Sunday morning at 10:30, we are launching a new series, Gospel for All. Throughout this series, we are talking about how the gospel message of Jesus Christ, the truth of his life, his death, and his resurrection is for all people everywhere. Now, as I considered this message for Sunday morning, I reflected back on the account of Jesus' life. We find it in Matthew chapter 14, where Jesus lands on the shore and he sees a multitude of people approaching him. He recognizes them and says he has compassion on them. He begins to heal their sick and teach them. Now, it had been a very, very long day. His disciples approach him and they said, Jesus, it's getting very late out here. These people are hungry. Send them home to get some food. And Jesus says something very profound to his disciples, something very profound for us still today. He says, no, you feed them. No, you feed them. Now, I think of this in relation to the gospel message of Jesus and how Jesus still today calls us to go and to feed those who need to hear the gospel, the truth of his life, and to apply it to their lives. See, but Jesus didn't just tell the disciples, no, go feed them just because they were hungry, because they needed to hear, just like Jesus doesn't call us to go and to be his witnesses because people need to hear the gospel message. See, it's so much more than that. Jesus calls his disciples to feed those people on that day because he wants them to be blessed. Just as he calls us to share his gospel message with all people everywhere because he wants us to share in a blessing. Now, those of you who know the account of Matthew chapter 14, you know that Jesus is brought 5 fish and 2 small loaves of bread, and he multiplies those. He feeds 5,000 men plus women and children on that day. And the disciples, their minds are blown that day by that miracle. See, I believe that Jesus wants to do a miracle among us, and he's calling us to go and to feed his lambs, to feed his people, to share the gospel message of his life, his death, his resurrection with all people everywhere, because he wants to not only bless these individuals, but he wants to bless us as well. I do hope you can join us Sunday morning at 10:30 as we share in this message together.